Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
So at its heart, emotional outsourcing is about outsourcing self. So looking to others for validation, direction, emotional stability, and worth. So in relationships, we feel responsible, like you were saying, for everyone's emotions. You can't rest if someone is upset. You feel like this compulsion to fix and to fix other people's feelings. You apologize constantly, even when you didn't do anything wrong. You avoid conflict at all costs, even if it means like, oh, just like a little white lie, or downplaying your needs or stuffing down your feelings. You feel resentful, but you don't express it. Then not even really knowing what you want. I hear this every day. I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I need. I've spent so long prioritizing others. Who even am I?
I'm Jessica Vallant. I'm a physical therapist, women's health expert, and Pilates teacher, and my goal is to help all women feel strong, safe, and secure in their bodies. In this podcast, I'll share expert advice, facts, amazing guests, stories, compassion, and hope to help you meet your body in all seasons of life. All right, you guys, you are in for such an important ride today during this conversation. I am interviewing Beatriz Victoria Albina, and she talks about emotional outsourcing. And I guarantee you, all of us need to listen to this conversation. She talks about getting out of the habits of people pleasing and perfectionism and the things that tend to hold us back. Things I didn't even realize that I have been doing or I've done in the past. It's amazing what she puts her finger on. And she does it in a really inviting way. This is an open door to walk through in order to feel our own emotions, in order to take ownership and feel empowered in our bodies. We talk about that connection between our emotions and our bodies and our overall health. And I tell you, it is like a light bulb moment, the entire conversation, but it's done in such a gentle and such an open way. I wish we could all be together in person having this conversation because I know we would all be nodding along. Let me tell you a little bit about Bea. Bea is a UCSF-trained family nurse practitioner, somatic experiencing practitioner, master certified somatic life coach, author of the best-selling End Emotional Outsourcing, a guide to overcoming codependent, perfectionist, and people-pleasing habits, and a breathwork meditation guide with a passion for helping humans socialize as women to reconnect with their bodies, regulate their nervous systems, and rewire their minds so they can break free from codependency, perfectionism, and people-pleasing and reclaim their joy. She's the host of the Feminist Wellness Podcast. She holds a master's degree in public health from Boston University School of Public Health and a BA in Latin American Studies from Oberlin College. Born in Mar del Plata, Argentina, Bea grew up in the great state of Rhode Island. She has been working in health and wellness for over 20 years and lives with her wife, Billy Albina, and their handsome all-black cat, Wade Elizabeth. This conversation is one that I will take with me in the days and weeks and years to come. And I feel like it will be one of those things that holds my hand as I can really walk into healthy habits in my own life. And I hope it does the same for you. I am so happy to bring you this conversation with Bea today. All right. So we read your bio. So everyone knows all the specifics about kind of where you're coming from, what you do in the world. I would love to know what got you into this specific space. And we're going to get into those words about emotional outsourcing. But I would love to know if there was something either in your past or professionally that led you to realize this was something women and the world need right now.
Gosh, I don't think anyone, who's met women thinks we don't need this. Do you know what I mean? I feel
Yes.
like so many of my friends, my patients, everyone in my world has some degree of emotional outsourcing going on, right?
Yep.
Where if we define emotional outsourcing as chronically and habitually sourcing our sense of the three most vital human needs, safety,
Okay.
belonging, and worth, from everyone and everything outside of ourselves instead of from within.
Okay.
Huh. I mean, who do you know who's not doing it? You know what I mean?
Right.
To some extent or another.
Yep.
And so it was really just, pattern recognition and really starting to see how much these exact same habits were really present. Yeah, definitely in clinical care, right? Definitely
Yeah.
in all of my patients, especially everyone, but especially folks with those chronic icky things that are so
Yeah.
challenging for us in office, and for patients in their lives. IBS,
Okay.
oof. Chronic
Yeah.
SIBO, oof. Hashimoto's, right?
Yeah.
Chronic fatigue sort of situations. Um, and folks who really felt like they were living sort of under the weight of a diagnosis and under the
Yes.
weight of their physical experience and their health experience, and really starting to ask questions about how they were relating to themselves and the world, and looking at the patterns in symptom flares, and really starting to see, oh, they put me up for this promotion and all of a sudden I can't stop pooping myself. I went
Yep.
home to visit my parents for a week and I haven't pooped in 2 weeks. Or not really, but
Yeah.
like
Yep.
really seeing the direct cause and effect
Yep.
of the way we relate to others on our health started cluing me in that this was the thing under like this was the hidden
Yes.
etiology in
Yes.
so many of my patients' lives and my friends too, right?
Yep. Yep.
And one thing led to another, and here we are.
And we talk about that a lot here. I mean, just diagnostically from autoimmune, all of those things. And then also, I mean, I have been diagnosed with many of them myself. We talk about how the research shows, I mean, there is a correlation between things like hypermobility and anxiety. I mean, there's a clear
Mhm.
correlation there. And patients are always shocked when I bring that up. And it feels like it's an invitation to them of, oh, I can walk into these many different things I feel and experience, and they all are a part of me, as opposed to different pieces. Like sometimes in the traditional medical field, we feel like, oh, I have this diagnosis over here. I have this one over here. I have this one over here. No one's bringing them together. I'm
Right.
told that it's in my mind, or I'm told I need to see 10 different professionals. And
Yeah.
what you're saying is, it's not just in your mind. They are all connected. They're real issues that you're feeling that have a similar foundation and connection.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the connection point there in my work and my focus is the nervous system. Is how the
Yep.
autonomic nervous system is playing out procedural memory from growing up. The
Yep.
stories we learned about who it's safe to be, how it's safe to be, whether we should be quiet, whether we should be loud, whether we should gain weight or lose weight, or like all those stories in our head about who it's safe to be,
Okay.
then control every interaction we have out in the world.
And is that, since you kind of brought up from when we were children,
Yeah.
are these things that we tend to learn depending on the environment we're in? Like, tell me about kind of nature versus nurture and why
Mm,
so many of us do have that messaging of, yeah, I'm not safe, or I can't be who I want to be or feel like I should be, those kind of things.
yeah. That authentic self really gets squinched down, right?
Yeah.
I can't point to a white paper and
Yeah.
say, well, it's 43% nature and it's right. But um, when we understand procedural memory, right, which is how as humans we understand how to do procedures. Like I know if I want to have a sip of this tea, I have to pick the cup up and lift it to my mouth, right? That's a very simplistic example, but driving a car, sending an email, um, or how we react and respond to others, that also
Okay.
gets written into us as implicit memory or procedural memory, right? And so, if you're a little kid and you hear your dad's car come home and you know that he likes the house really quiet when he gets home because he's very stressful day. And so you'd better not just you be quiet, but you go get the rest of the
Mm,
kids and maybe the dog too and hush everybody up. Right. And so you start learning to manage the environment for other people's comfort, manage the environment for your emotional safety, right? You learn to control and manage the world to not feel big feelings or not have other people feel big feelings. And so then that gets written into this memory that's then directed by your nervous system. So then your husband says, "What do you want to have for dinner?" And you say sushi, and he goes, "Oh," and you go, "Don't worry about it. It's okay. Forget it. Actually, burgers. Let's have burgers. You want burgers? We'll have burgers." And now, what just
mm,
happened to your authentic desire?
yeah.
Like, where the heck is that? Where did that go? Right out the window, I think. But it's just the
Mhm.
ghost of 30, 40, 50 years previous of learning how to manage a parent, a sibling,
Right.
right? So, yes, that learned piece from our family of origin, but also our society, also our culture, also our schools, religions, especially if we're in high control religions. It's all part and parcel. And then, of course, the patriarchy, white settler colonialism, and late stage capitalism plays a role. I mean, how can it not, right? We learn how to be a good girl or that boys don't have feelings, except for anger, because punching a wall is allowed. But crying, forget about it, right?
Mhm.
We learn that just because you have to pee or you're hungry or you want to go outside doesn't mean you can, because you got to sit at your teeny tiny little cubicle desk and learn to be a good worker, right? Like on and on, these were taught and trained and conditioned to ignore our body. So I love the name of your show. Ignore your body. Don't listen to your body. Your biological impulses are fully unimportant,
Yep.
right? And complying and doing what you're told is what matters. And for us in emotional outsourcing, not just doing what you're told, but projecting what you think they want you to think that you're being told onto other people and then pre-doing it. That's that's where we get the most messed up. So your question, is it nature, is it nurture? I mean, I guess the answer is yes.
Yeah.
What do you
All
think?
of it.
Yeah? Yeah,
Yes.
all of the
Yes.
above. Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think too, there's so many times we don't know any other way to
Right.
live. Like, I remember going through therapy in my early 20s, trying to deal with a lot of different things. And my therapist said, "Well, what in this situation, what would make you happy?" And I said, "Well, if everyone else was happy." She said, "No, no, what would make you happy?" And I said, "Well, actually, if everyone else was happy, then I would be happy. Then I could
Right.
breathe and then it would all be
Right.
fine." And she just looked at me, and I remember thinking, "Oh,
Oh.
I think I think maybe the only way I know to feel calm and what I think of as happy is if everyone around me is fine, then maybe I can breathe." And it has stuck with me since then that I didn't even understand that I was pushing my own pleasures and needs down, because the only thing I knew was that I wanted to make everyone else happy, peaceful, easy, period.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how many times a day I hear some variation of that exact same story.
And that's
Yeah. And listen, it's important to say, though, the other side of that isn't being said enough. Of course, we want our people to be happy. Of course,
yeah,
we want our people to be pleased with us. Like that's a beautiful thing. but not when it's at a cost to your entire self, which is what emotional outsourcing is, which is what you just, that's such a beautiful example because it's so relatable, right? We're all like, oh, I get that,
Yeah.
right?
And so
Yeah.
if people find themselves in that place, well, I'm going to back up actually because we talk so much here about like our demographic is we have a wide demographic, but we're talking a lot of perimenopausal, a lot of postmenopausal. So
Yeah.
those of us who've been in these patterns a long time,
Yeah.
do you find with aging women that we start to have more awareness suddenly of, oh, I think I've been living this way a long time and I didn't even know it? Like, is there something about this age that starts to bring about these visions of who we are compared to who we thought maybe we were?
Yeah, I think there is. It's hard to know. It's a hard etiology to put your finger on. Like, what's the
Yeah.
what here? But we're
Yeah.
all experiencing it. And maybe it's the great unknowable,
Mhm.
right? It's just some magic that happens where we release that desire to please others above ourselves.
Yeah.
And we come into this greater understanding of self in this
Yeah.
really potent way. And I think it's not to be ignored, right? It's really to be listened to and honored, because we are a mighty force, those of us who've run out of F's
Yeah.
to give, right?
Yeah.
We are a force not to be reckoned with because we're just like,
Yeah.
we just don't really care so much anymore the way we used to,
Yeah.
right? Like all the cult of thinness stuff that's happening, you know, it, I feel like my friends, I'm in my mid-40s, we're just like, That's cool, whatever, let's go lift heavy," right?
Yes.
Like, let's go I we can fight lions. That's our goal,
Yeah.
right? And not the
True.
things that we cared about when we were 20, and I think the more we
Right.
can lean into it and we can find the beauty and the gift in the mystery, in the magic, the more we can really receive it and then get all the gifts that are part and parcel of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What are some, if women are sitting at home, well, this
Yeah.
will be two parts. I'm going to back
Okay.
up and have you either define or explain to us what exactly you mean by emotional outsourcing.
Yeah.
And then, second part is, are there a few things women could look at in their lives and say, oh, yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a sign that you might be in that space? You might be doing some emotional outsourcing.
Yeah. So emotional outsourcing is when we chronically and habitually source our sense of the three most vital human needs: safety, belonging, and worth. We source it from everyone and everything outside of ourselves instead of from within at a great cost to self.
Okay.
And this is my umbrella term for codependency,
Yeah.
perfectionism, and people pleasing, which I see as three sets of habits, survival skills, brilliant survival skills, by the way, right? Um, that have different, they show up in different ways, right? They have different presentations, but at their core, it's this same wound around safety
Mhm.
largely. So codependent habits is managing other people to attempt to feel safer. People pleasing habits are keeping others comfortable to attempt to avoid rejection. And perfectionist habits are controlling yourself to attempt to earn love.
Mm.
And my work is really about saying, like, wow, wow, little you did that? Get out of town, little you. That is so brilliant and amazing, right? Your nervous system did that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so when we can shift away from, ugh, guilty as charged, I'm such a perfectionist, right? When we can get away from, I had a codependent slip and texted my ex, we can get away from that shame and blame language. And chapter 8 of my book is all about shame because it's the glue that holds this braid together, right? And we can instead celebrate it. We can meet it. We can meet these patterns as what they are, not identities, but patterns. And we can meet them with compassion, which allows us
Mhm.
to reconnect with internal safety. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's really if we're looking to everyone else for safety, connecting to it internally is so infinitely vital. So next you asked me, what are some signs? What are some like little hints that this may be rolling around? Well, so I think the first is if this conversation so far has you on the edge of your seat. I went on a hike with this new group yesterday and I was explaining my work to someone and I defined emotional outsourcing and she went, whoa, like that, just that option that I don't have to say like, I'm a codependent person, just this other option that's a verb.
Yeah.
Because it's not who you are, it's what you're doing. She's like, that just shook something inside me. Like that was healing. And that was really nice to hear. But so if something in you is like, ooh, girl, that's your first sign. So at its heart, emotional outsourcing is about outsourcing self. So looking to others for validation, direction, emotional stability, and worth. So in relationships, we feel responsible, like you were saying, for everyone's emotions. You can't rest if someone is upset. You feel like this compulsion to fix and to fix other people's feelings. Like if someone tells you this lousy situation happened and I'm so upset about it, you're right in there to fix it, right? Instead of honoring their feelings. You apologize constantly, even when you didn't do anything wrong and you're not even Canadian. You're just trying to keep the peace. That's a good one, huh? You avoid conflict at all costs, even if it means like, oh, just like a little white lie or downplaying your needs or stuffing down your feelings. You feel resentful, but you don't express it. And that can be because there's a story in you like, oh, my feelings don't like count as much as other people's, like I don't want to burden them with my feelings. Or you're on the other side where you're resentful and everyone's hearing about it. Right? The martyr side, everyone's hearing about how resentful you are, how much you do for this family, how I suffer for you children. It can either, sort of tends to run sort of black and white, all or nothing. Then not even really knowing what you want. I hear this every day. I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I need. I've spent so long prioritizing others. Who even am I? We don't set boundaries. We don't set limits. And if we start to, we have so much guilt and so much shame that we just like fold like an origami swan the second someone says something to us, which is, don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We ruminate endlessly over things we said or did or didn't say. We worry a lot about if we upset someone. Like, were we the bad guy? And so from there, we're constantly worried. Are you mad at me? Are you upset with me? Like, Jessica, am I describing this too much? Are you upset with me? Is it okay? I'm sorry. I can stop. Do you want me to stop? Do you want me to go? I'll just go. Right? At work, we say yes to extra projects, to unpaid labor, emotional caretaking. We're often like the mom of the group or like the mom at work. When like, that's not your job. You're not head of the party planning committee. Like no one's paying you to do this. You work for a corporation. Stop it. And then the big one I hear every day is around decision making. Oh, Lord, we cannot make a decision. And if we do, without getting the entire peanut gallery's opinion about it, but if we do make a decision, we ruminate. Should I not have gone? Should I have gone? Should I manage? Till we've driven ourselves fully bananas. There's a lot of driving ourselves bananas to some degree or another. And then finally, because I could go on about this for like, 360 pages, but is being hyper independent. So the I am a rock, I am an island is part of emotional outsourcing. Right? It's the yang to the yin of codependent is I don't need anybody. I especially don't need anybody to see who I am and really see me being vulnerable. I'm just going to pull away and pull back. And you can't see me, Jessica. Right?
Yep.
Right. So that's that more avoidant attachment versus the like very anxious attachment that I think is more talked about in the codependent world. But I work with so many women who are like, I don't need you. I don't need anybody, friends. I'm fine. So I have a cup of tea. I'm fine. I'm like, girl, your nervous system isn't fine.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like you just described every single person I know. At least and
Uh-huh.
definitely me. I mean, in my 20s and
Oof.
when I was going through therapy and realizing
Yeah.
all of those things.
Yeah.
And it's good to point out, like, each thing you said, I can still relate to. I mean, it takes self-awareness daily for me to be able to step into the healthy patterns, out of those unhealthy patterns. It's not that I
Yeah.
don't fall into them anymore, and I know when my nervous system gets unregulated, when I am doom scrolling all day, when all of those things happen, I
Yeah.
become much more likely to fall into one of those patterns that does feel, and it's interesting hearing you say it. I know they're not good or healthy, and I do not like how I feel when I'm there, but there is something in me that feels like it is safe. Like you said about pulling back, not needing anyone, it's my little nervous system saying, "You know what? If you don't need anyone, then no one can hurt you. If you don't need anyone, you won't disappoint anyone." You know, if you and so it's real just sitting there ruminating, there you go. Sitting there thinking on that, it is that idea of, okay, I have enough self-awareness now to know those aren't healthy and good patterns for me, and I can typically get myself out of them. But when I'm already hyper reactive, when my nervous system is off the rails, I will fall into them because that little girl in me says, that's the safe place to be. You can't be hurt if you go there.
And how freaking amazing is she, though?
That's so sweet that you say that. Yeah. I love
Well,
that
yeah, I love her
framing.
so much because she's protecting
Mhm.
grown-up you in a moment where
Yeah.
you don't have the resources to
Mhm.
do anything else.
Hmm.
It's so cool that she intervenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how amazing, right?
Right. So we need to learn to give ourselves some grace and some patience, like you said, as opposed to, oh my gosh, here I go. I'm doing it again. What am I thinking? I'm going to bang my head on the wall. I'm such a bad
Right.
person. I'm so dumb. I'm so whatever.
Because here's the thing, right? Our nervous systems, I mean, first of all, the world is dysregulating enough.
Yeah.
And then coming from where we come from, our nervous systems often didn't really learn true regulation or safe co-regulation, right? So we live in this dysregulated, bouncy world where we're bouncing between sympathetic activation, fight or flight, adrenaline, the lions are coming, oh my God, they're gonna eat me, oh my God, they're gonna kill me, oh my God, brrr. And then that completely numb dorsal, checked out,
Mhm.
doom scrolling, where you don't know what you saw 2 reels ago, but then the
Yeah.
third reel fills you with anxiety, and then you're looking at a kitten. What kitten?
Yeah.
I'm 4 reels further, and then I'm anxious, like, right? So our nervous systems are in
Yeah.
this ping pong state that's not dissimilar to how so many of us grew up,
Mhm.
right? And so our bodies are just trying to take care of us the best way we know how, but concurrently, we learn to be mean to ourselves. And every
Yeah.
time you go like you did, "What's wrong with me? Why can't I just stop doing this? Meow, meow, meow." We fill ourselves with adrenaline. Because
Yeah.
who's the bully now? We are.
Mhm.
We're the meanie pants right at our own tender hearts. And so then, of course, we go back into sympathetic activation, back into fight or flight, and then we crash into dorsal. And then we're
Mhm.
having, and I'm not demonizing alcohol, but then we're having the second or third glass of wine on the couch with the TV on, looking at our doom scrolling social media.
Mhm.
And so when we can intervene and take out that meanie pants step,
Yeah.
we can step into self-awareness, into presence, towards equanimity. Your
Mhm.
girl said towards, okay? And giving us some room to be human. And in there, in that compassion, in that love, in that gentleness, in that tenderoni, we can make a choice that is more supportive of our short and long-term health and wellness instead
Mhm.
of going back into the checkout, the dissociated, the not present. It's pretty cool.
And it's amazing. And I think that framing is just so important because we do, I mean, again, it's like the old patterns to get into yelling at yourself and getting mad at yourself, and that's what the world tells us to do. And
Right.
it's not helpful, and somehow we see it as weak to take a moment and say, "You know what? It's ok thank you, body. Like,
Yeah.
thank you, and yeah, let me give you some tea because you're right. We are whew, we're having a hard day. And you need to know why it's a hard day. Sometimes it's just a hard day.
Yeah.
And when those things happen, and this is not to simplify the answer because I am sure this is, well, yeah, I was just talking about my early 20s. I'm 47 now. So we're talking 25 years of awareness, and I'm still kind of working on those patterns. Are there some things people can do kind of in the moment to help regulate when they do find themselves going down that rabbit hole?
Yeah, for sure. And I really recommend you start when you're a million miles from anywhere bunnies might live, right?
Mm,
When you're so far from the rabbit hole, meaning it's Saturday and there's no kids in the
mm,
house, no partner in the house, even the dog's not in the house, right? Like when you've got time and you've got
mm,
space, which
mm.
I know for most of us is like slivers, right?
Right.
But using those slivers wherever you can find them to show your body, I'm here with you.
Yeah.
That way, you don't go down the rabbit hole as fast because you're building
Mhm.
presence and intentionality on the daily.
Okay.
The more you practice noticing yourself without judgment, the stronger your
Mhm.
internal reference point becomes, which then helps you remember that you are and can against be, you can be the center of your own friggin' universe, which we forget. Right?
Yeah.
Like to your example is so right on of 20-year-old you with your
Yeah.
therapist.
Yeah.
Everyone else is the
Yeah.
center of our universe.
Mhm.
So emotional outsourcing takes us completely out of ourselves, right? It melds us with the people around you and we step into role confusion. Like you shared, it's my job to keep them
Mhm.
happy. And so somatic practices, not when you're in the panic moment or the buffering moment or the checked out moment, but as a regular part of your life helps to bring you back in. And so somatics, soma means body in Greek, somatics are any practices that bring us back home to ourselves. So, and this matters because before you can shift behavior, you actually have to feel yourself, capital S self, as a separate person.
Mm.
And I think it's important we pause there, right?
Yep.
Because we are not separate selves.
Mhm.
We're the good girl, the good daughter, the good mom, the good employee, the good employer, the good, the good, the good, the good. And where's the room for actual you?
Yep.
Where?
Mhm.
So the homework is for
Mhm.
my nerds out there 3 times a day, set an alarm on your phone. And when the little alarm goes off, just stop what you're doing. This can take like literally 6 seconds. What am I feeling right now? Scan your body. Where is there tension
Mhm.
or ease? What sensations are present? And if for whatever reason scanning inside your body doesn't work for your nervous system, just scan your skin. You can stay right outside.
Mhm.
And then listen to what your body wants and do one small act of self honoring. So, like stretching, shaking, getting more comfortable, little hand on your heart, peeing, drinking water, attending to your biological impulses.
Mhm.
The point of this is not to ask, what am I feeling? And get an answer.
Yep.
And this really, really matters. And I think it's very different from a lot of what we're hearing in the space. It's not, in my world, it's not about like getting to know yourself in this way. It's
Mhm.
first, it's about learning that you can ask yourself questions
Mm.
because you're so used to like, what do you all want for lunch? Where do you want to go on vacation? Where do you, what matters to you? And so it's this huge like shift. It's kind of mind blowing in this like, how is such a simple thing so annoyingly impactful kind of way
Mhm.
of like, oh, wait, I can ask me what I want and how I feel.
Yep.
Huh. And listen, if you're very checked out from self the first 473 times, you're going to hear, I don't know. What am I feeling?
Mhm.
I don't, huh? Wait, what? And that's cool. That's great. I'm
Yep.
here for it, right? Because again, the answer is irrelevant.
Yep.
It's the fact of acting because you matter so much to you And even if you matter the tiniest bit to you, this is the practice that helps you build. I matter so much to me that I'm doing this 3 times a day for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, right? It's not like a big ask, but it's a pattern interruption. And that's what we need when our whole life has been this pattern of emotional outsourcing.
And now a quick word from our sponsors. I don't think I'm alone when I say it feels like I spend the majority of my time in the kitchen. It's important to me to feed myself and my family as healthy and homemade as possible, but let's be honest, cleanup can be a real bummer sometimes. I am not exaggerating when I say my cookware set from Caraway has changed how I look at cooking. I can whip up eggs with literally no scrubbing needed afterwards because they slide right out of the pan. The same goes for soups, chicken, ground beef, and pancakes on the griddle, which my kids now request every single weekend. Caraway is non-toxic, beautiful, and beyond easy to clean, and it's truly heightened my cooking experience altogether. Caraway's cookware set is a favorite for a reason. It can save you up to $190 versus buying the items individually. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/meetyourbody, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners. So visit carawayhome.com/meetyourbody or use code meetyourbody at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic kitchenware made modern. So while you guys know I do cook the majority of our meals at home, lunches are a different story altogether. They are completely hit or miss during the week when I'm working from home between Zoom clients, filming, and I just try to grab something quickly out of the fridge. So unless I have leftovers from the night before, it's usually, unfortunately, lacking in protein and in veggies. Enter Factor Meals. Factor makes healthy eating easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and chefs. You simply pop them in the microwave and you have a nutritional and balanced meal ready to go. And you guys, this is not your typical frozen meal. They are always fresh, never frozen. And there are over 100 dishes to choose from weekly, including things like chicken rioja, pasta dishes, and even filet mignon. I'm not even kidding you. I was able to order a burger for my husband and tofu dishes for our vegetarian daughter, so everyone had something that they could enjoy. They even have an entire high protein section to ensure I'm getting the protein I need to support my body even on the busiest of days. Factor meals are ready in less than 2 minutes and delivered straight to your doorstep. You can head to factormeals.com/meetyourbody50off and use code meetyourbody50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan. 1 free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. Yeah, and I work so much on the physical body, and
Yes.
and I have found, and so I tell people, okay, let's say pelvic floor. You need to set an alarm. You need to do your pelvic floor exercises 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And many times they'll try and say, I have no idea what I'm feeling. And I'll say, that's okay. You're just trying. Like you're just thinking of doing it is making some little connection with those muscles. You might
For
not have any
sure.
idea what's happening,
Yeah.
but something is happening.
Something.
And so taking that same strategy, somehow I think our nervous system feels so enigma-ish compared to the physical body. But really the strategies would be similar. And that's what I hear you saying is, hey, you might not have any idea what the question is, what the answer is, but just stop and do it. That's it.
Yes.
Something is
That's it.
happening. Like
Something.
you don't know what, but something is happening.
Some kind of magic. It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. And listen, so there's a thing in our brain called neural grooves or neural pathways. So if you live on a farm and you wheel the same wheelbarrow from your house to the barn every day, there'll be a rut over time, right? Where that wheelbarrow will just naturally go, or like the rain from your gutters. Our brains are the same way. They have these pathways, heuristics, pathways of least resistance. And so that old pathway is emotional outsourcing. And so to create the new pathway takes about 28 days for the new one to take shape and the old one to die off. And so just doing it for a solid month, right? A moon month, whatever, starts to change like literally change your brain. Like we could look at an anatomy textbook, change your brain, right? Creates new neuroplastic changes. That's some cool science, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
It is.
And so, I love that we're, of course, we're giving that same advice. That makes me very happy.
Yes.
You had asked for acute care things, and I went on my whole loop because you get it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want me to give some acute care options? Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. So for those of us who can move our paws, and if you can't move your paws, I just want to invite you to imagine moving your paws. And if you can't move your paws and can't imagine, then you'll just count. Okay? So you're going to take a paw and you're going to do the opposite of what your nervous system is doing. So if you're revved up, if you're speedy, if you're feeling like you're going to take your thumb and you're going to tap your first finger.
Okay.
And you're going to say 1. Your second finger 2. Your third finger 3. And your pinky, and say 4. And you'll come back 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow and steady and slow and steady. And the more jacked up you are on adrenaline, the slower I want you to go. And this is annoying. This is an annoying thing to ask people to do. I mean, don't you think? I mean, because it's really going to pattern interrupt hard. And you're going to be like, I don't want to. I'm so pissed off. I can't believe he would. Oh, fine. I don't want to do any homicides today.
So I guess I'll touch my fingers.
I guess I'll touch my fingers, and I hate those girls. But just freaking do it. This is when I go New York, Mom. I'm going to freaking do it. But just try it. And, money back guarantee if it doesn't work. So there's that, right? And then if you're frozen, wait, what? Oh, sorry. I got stressed out and you wanted to talk. Sorry. That's dorsal. That's the checked out part of the nervous system when we're flooded and we can't move. Now, when we're in a freeze, when we're in a flood state, we don't want to jack the nervous system up because you can mess yourself up, just to put it shortly. And it take me another hour to explain the science behind that. But just trust me, I've been studying this a long time. So your goal is to bring a little more energy, life force energy back in, but you're not going to jump into going fast, fast, fast. So you might touch your thumb to your first finger 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do that for a while. And then when you feel your energy coming back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2. But let that take a couple minutes.
Okay.
And if it feels overwhelming, stop and orient your nervous system, meaning look around the room or space you're in and literally just take it in. And you can name the things you're seeing. That's a couch. That's a thermos. That's a mug. This is my favorite pen. That's a mirror. That's a Jessica. Hello. That's a microphone, right? And there are no lions here.
Yeah.
Okay, there are no lions. Okay. Until you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love these practices. And I also think it's important because I know this is me, but I also know listeners, right? We have talked about breathing, about like naming things in your room so many times here. I know you've read about it, and I know some of you are thinking, I don't want to breathe. I know everyone just tells me to breathe, but I'm telling you it's not going to work. And I am just asking you to take 30 seconds to trust us. that it really, I did this just the other day on a walk. Mondays tend to be my anxious days. I don't know if it's kids back at school, like leaving, our home routine from the weekend. And it just is. I don't blame myself for it. Like you said, I just accept Monday mornings are going to be a little more anxious. And so on a walk the other day, I really did that. I said, okay, body, thank you. Thank you for trying to protect me in this moment. But you know what? We're good. Like the ground is solid beneath my feet. I have a coat on. I am warm. And I named just those things you just mentioned. And you might feel silly doing it, but I am telling you that that was more important than any bubble bath or any massage I could have gotten. Just 30 seconds, me talking to my body and recognizing. So trust us on the breath. Like trust Bea here on the fingers. These tools can be really powerful.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want me to science it?
Oh, sure. Yes,
the
please.
orienting?
Yes.
So one of the things that happens when we get triggered, which is when we leave ventral vagal, which is the safe and social part of our nervous system, which is where I am right now. Jessica, you're fantastic. I mean, NPs love nursing, loves PT, PT loves nursing, right? Like we got that. And I love talking about these things. These are the things I love to nerd about. And so my nervous system's chill and safe. And so, but if you said something or somebody did something that smelled like, felt like, looked like, sounded like something from the past that was hard, that was scary, that was traumatic, that was, my nervous system would not just get activated, like flooded with adrenaline, but in a way I would time travel, right? And this is metaphorical, my nerds, but I would time travel and I'd be 6 or 8 or 12 or 26 or 36 or whatever again. And so I'm not this grown-up woman who knows what I'm talking about in that moment. I'm some scared kid or teenager or 20-something. I'm back in the scary. And so are you.
Yeah.
And so when we orient our nervous system, simply looking around, I've been studying this stuff for 20 years. And I still tell people do the easiest, most accessible, cheapest, this too simple sounding thing because it's because science. So when you look around and you name what you're seeing, or like you did, I love that you also went to comfort. I'm wearing this comfy coat. I'm warm. I love that's phenomenal. You're telling the nervous system, hey, hi, I'm 46. I'm 46, you're 47. I'm a grown-ass woman.
Yeah.
Right? I am in my own house, my own apartment. I pay the rent. These are my feet on my floor. This is my table. This is my mug. There's no lions here. The scary, bad, whatever is not here. And so that starts to bring the nervous system back into the present, as it were, and actually starts to downregulate. And that's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
And so speaking of tools, and this is going to go back to the bigger tools. I know this isn't just the moment tool.
Sure. Yeah.
I would love, because you talk a lot about, which I think is fascinating and wonderful, the importance of community and how the typical self-care industry really makes us feel like this is an isolated thing that we're doing for ourselves. And you talk about how it has to be done actually within community. So I would love to hear you talk about that. And then also, if you can layer on then the importance of boundaries with that, because that can feel a little bit hard sometimes. Okay, I need boundaries. Yes. So does boundaries mean I'm separating myself from people, but then I need to be in community with people? How do those two things work kind of together to give us what we need?
That's such a great 1-2 punch on that. Thank you. So yeah, as humans, we are pack animals. We're not meant to do this life alone. And it wasn't so long ago that we really didn't, right? That most of us lived in community.
Yeah.
And it's really only a tool of this last century that we've been so separated, right? Like, the fact that we all, like in the US context, US and Canadian, the sort of Anglo-American context, everyone owns their own lawnmower.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, right? like that there's not one for the community and we all should, like, and so when we're talking about the nervous system, we need to realize that we are built to co-regulate. And so co-regulating is what all babies and children's must do. So no, you're not spoiling your baby if you hold her too much. Please hold her tight. Our nervous systems, when we're they can't regulate. If you get scared and the scary is scary, you need someone bigger than you to wrap you up, pick you up off the floor, because that's where most scaries live, and say, shh, 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 you're okay, baby. I got you. I got you now. And it smells like safe, feels like safe, it sounds like safe, right? And so our nervous systems then know, I can downregulate, meaning that we don't need the adrenals don't need to keep pumping adrenaline into the bloodstream, right? They can start to shut that down. We go towards that acetylcholine state, that more chill, right? That more, and we're not meant to do that alone. Right? Like so we've been talking about acute care and that sort of more lasting shift in how we experience self, the world, the body, the soma, the nervous system. So the acute care, it's great to be able to say, I'm alone in the car on 95 and everyone's driving like a maniac because I'm somewhere near Boston and I'm really scared. And so I'm going to count my little fingers while I drive this car. That's awesome. And when you get home, it's important that you hug a human or a cat or talk to a plant or a crystal, right? Like we all do the best we can with what we've got in terms of actual community and other creatures. But it's really vital for our nervous systems that we don't feel alone in that more infinite sense because we're not built for it. Like I don't give my cat baths. He's not built for it. And growing up, I had a bunny. He wasn't built for it. But I love a bath. Put me in it. I got the right kind of fur for that. Right? But Wade wants nothing to do with it. Right? And so we need each other for our nervous systems to actually know that it's okay to downregulate. Because when we've downregulated, right, when we're in ventral vagal, that safe and social part, all of the things work most bestly, right? Cognition, digestion, thyroid, the list goes on and on. Heartbeat, and thus blood pressure, our breathing, our oxygenation, thus our energy levels, and whether we're fatigued or not, right? Histamine, right? Stress goes up, histamine goes up. I want to talk about perimenopause, right? Histamine goes up. So the more we can downregulate the nervous system and feel safe and grounded and resourced in community, the more optimally our physiology works. I'll also say again that this I almost said rabid individualism, which is not what I meant, but interesting for Freudian slide there. This individualism that's pushed on us in the Anglo-American context is really just a tool to keep us separate so we're more controllable.
And I really love that you point out that community doesn't have to be 10 people, 20 people. It doesn't have to be you being a part of the PTA. It can be your one safe person or pet at home. It can be that one safe phone call to say, I just needed to hear your voice. That's it. Thank you.
That's it.
Or even sharing memes on Instagram sometimes. I mean, that seems like this fun new way to communicate, right? But when someone sends you something and they say, this is so funny, it made me think of you.
Yeah.
That alone can be that hit of community.
For sure. Penguins do something similar called pebbling, where they leave a tiny rock at each other's feet and they just waddle and boop, drop the pebble. And that means, I like you. Do you want to be my friend? And I feel like that's what we're doing with memes. We're like, here's a pebble. I really like you. I know that I'm in Barcelona and you're in New York City, but I love you and here's a pebble. Or if you're a friend of mine, you get like a private podcast. I hit up those voice notes. Are you a fan of the voice note?
Oh, yes. Voice text and Marco
God.
Polo is my other favorite. My best friend and I do Marco Polo together.
Oh my God,
My
it's
favorite.
so
'Cause then I can
fun.
see her face and her kids will pop in
Yeah.
and say hi.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
tenderoni. I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
also point out that codependency as a term came out of the treatment world of the 1970s and 1980s, shaped heavily by the war on drugs.
Mm.
So in that
Interest.
political moment, it's so
Yeah.
fascinating. Families of people struggling with substance use addiction
Yep.
were scrutinized under this really moralizing lens. So if
Mhm.
somebody was using substances, it was assumed their family, especially mothers, must be enabling them.
Yeah.
And so the word codependent was coined to describe those who were seen as
Mhm.
colluding in addiction by caring too much. And it was
Mm.
really, I mean, if we zoom out and look at trickle down economics, neoliberalism, Margaret Thatcher, the Reagans, right? That whole picture of that time, Nixon, there's this huge move to separate us,
Yeah.
to separate us.
Mhm.
So we're not as powerful. Because what was the 60s,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Drop in and drop out. Free
Yep.
love, connection, community, really scary to the status quo.
Yep.
Coming out of the 40s and 50s and the wars, right? And
Right.
then no one was going to Vietnam, like, or people were rejecting going to Vietnam to fight this BS war. And then
Yeah.
we have this backlash into rugged individualism again.
Mhm.
It makes sense they want to separate it, and it's up
Yeah.
to us to say, nah, no, thank
Yeah.
you. No, I'm going to go volunteer. I'm going to take my
Mm.
whistle and get out there. I'm going to go be a part of the change I want to see in the world. And that starts with not relating to the people I love codependently, right? Not looking to them to source my emotions for me, sourcing them within myself, and then connecting from my overflow, connecting from my full open heart, connecting from love and care to build community.
Yeah.
It's pretty
And
groovy,
I
I'd say.
It is, and I feel as you're talking, I can feel my nerves, like, just thinking about my friends and the memes, and then e
Yeah.
expanding from that into groups I wanna volunteer with or really be a part of.
Yeah.
My nervous system feels calmer thinking of that, like, it feels hopeful
Yeah.
versus, and you can tell me if I'm right here, thinking of boundaries when they need to come in because 'cause I'm
Oh,
sure
yes.
they do sometimes.
Sure.
When I think about that and relationships I've had to put boundaries around, that idea doesn't even represent the word community to me. Like that may being around people like that makes my nervous system heightened. It makes me
Right.
nervous. It makes me
Right.
feel sharp and itchy and not the best version of myself. So I almost feel
Mm.
like my nervous system is telling me where the good community is for me
Yeah.
and where maybe some boundaries
Yeah.
might need to be set.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing me back to the second part of the question. I got pretty excited talking about
It's good.
politics, but
Community's the best.
it is the best. But yeah, the point about boundaries, boundaries are resentment prevention.
Okay.
There is no strong community without
Mm,
healthy boundaries.
okay.
And sometimes it's not we don't have to set a boundary. So a boundary in my world is the mathematical equation is if you do X, I will do Y.
Mm,
And so we're always
expectation.
staying Yeah, we're always staying on our side of the road, and we're just
Yeah,
giving someone a consequence for if they continue to do whatever they're doing, right? But it's never about them or controlling them or their behavior. It's just saying
yeah,
what we're going to do, right? And so that's how we build a loving community,
yes,
right? Hey, thank you for coming to volunteer at the food bank. I'm so glad you're here. If you keep coming late, we can't have you on the 7 p.m. shift because people are coming from work at the factory and they have to
yeah,
get their kids in bed. And so if we're down a set of hands, it's just
mhm,
not going to work. It's actually better for us to not count on you if you're going to continue to be late.
yeah,
Clean, clear, direct, right?
yep,
So yeah, those kind of boundaries are really important. And then also just stating limits. Just
yeah,
and again, that goes back to knowing who you are, what you need, what
mm,
just knowing yourself so you can say what works for you and doesn't.
yeah,
I joined this hiking group and went on a hike yesterday. And this woman joined, we met at 9 a.m. and this woman joined the group at like 4. And she's like, I didn't make it to the hike, but I wanted to come to the hangout afterwards. And so she had like big, I've been on my own all day energy. Right. And
yeah,
we were all like, we just hiked up a mountain and back down. And like, we're all a little spent. And
mhm,
she came in really hot and, like,
yeah,
asking me these intense personal questions. And that's when I got to say, hey, thank you. I've been hiking all day and I'm pretty wiped, and I'd love to get to know you later, but I need the intensity to come down quite a bit to be able to interact with you, which I'd love to do.
Yeah.
Right? But how do you know to say that if you're so deep in emotional outsourcing? And so then you either freeze or just don't interact, or, right? It creates an awkwardness that then is the opposite of community.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yep. No, I think that's perfect. That's a
Yeah.
perfect definition.
Mm.
I heard someone say once, I'm not going to get this right, but if you're feeling resentful about something, most likely you haven't set a boundary around that in your own life. And that hit me. That helped me restructure a little bit. Because, I would feel resentful about, I think, emails I was getting, right? Like something. And
Right.
I realized, I never set a boundary of I only answer emails Monday through Friday. So
Right.
I thought people were expecting me to answer Saturday night, but it's because I just never set that boundary.
Right.
Sometimes resentful can just grow so much instead of, self-awareness. I see. Yeah, that's on me.
Yep.
I need to set that. And then we can, like you said, have actually a better community when I'm willing to set a healthy boundary for myself.
Right. And often when we're resentful, in addition to what you shared, it's we resent the other person doing something we don't let ourselves do.
Oh, yes. Mhm.
I can't believe she would speak back to me. I can't believe she would say no, that she's not available.
Mm,
Like anytime we're in that like huffing
yes.
disbelief, it's usually because you've limited yourself and you're
Mm,
super grumped and don't recognize it, that
no.
someone else is not limiting herself or themselves.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
that's
good
so
one.
good.
It's an ouchy one, but a good one.
Yes. I Okay, we probably need to talk 4 more hours, but it's
I'll
been
come
an hour.
back. What
We
am
need
I
to
doing?
okay.
I'm not
I
busy.
I think we might need to. This is
Okay, great.
so important. I have
Yay.
loved this so much. Tell
Good.
everyone, I know you
Yeah.
have a book. Tell everybody about your book and then also where we can find you.
So the book is called End Emotional Outsourcing: How to Overcome Your Codependent, Perfectionist, and People-Pleasing Habits. And it's available wherever books are sold. Your local independent bookseller is a great place to start.
Yeah.
You can learn more about it and have all those links to buy it on my website at Beatriz, which is Beatrice with a Z, Beatriz, albina.com/book. I have a podcast called Feminist Wellness. It's a solo show where I talk about all this kind of stuff every week. And if you want to work with me, my signature program is called Anchored. It's a 6-month coaching, somatics, breathwork group. And you can learn more at beatrizalbina.com/anchored.
So good. And we will have all of those links below. Thank you. I just can't thank you enough for the work that you're doing. And like I said, it feels like you're doing it as an invitation, as opposed
Mm.
to a requirement. And I think that framing just feels so gentle and so needed. And so thank you. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thanks so much for listening today. I would love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It means a lot to us and it helps our content get out to more women who need it. You can find more of my resources at my website, jessicavallant.com, or find me on YouTube at Jessica Vallant and Instagram at Jessica S. Vallant.